In today's video, I'm gonna give you 2 hours of unfiltered advice on how to make money as a music producer. And if I'm being honest, I have a feeling that about 90% of you guys watching aren't gonna finish this whole video. And to be real, if you can't focus through this whole video, it's probably one of the reasons why you haven't found success yet online as a producer. You have to stay consistent and keep your focus for a very long time without seeing a ton of results right away if you really wanna make it in this game. And I promise, if you stick through the whole video, you're gonna get a ton of gems and knowledge on how I make money online. If you don't already know who I am or why you should even consider listening to my advice, I've made nearly $2 million selling my beats online, loop kits, all that, and I've gotten placements with huge artists like Future, 21 Savage, and SZA. And I'm not claiming to know everything, but I definitely know a thing or two, and I think that my experience can be valuable to a lot of people. Now, I'm filming this part of the video after the fact, but the original content of this video is actually a Zoom call that I did inside of my paid community, Sonic's Academy. But honestly, as I was filming the video, I just felt like the information was too good to be kept behind a paywall, and I felt like it would help a lot of people. That's why I'm uploading it here to YouTube for everyone to watch for free. That being said, it's literally an unedited Zoom call, so the visual quality is about to dip a little bit, but the knowledge you're gonna get is 100% worth it. Anyways, grab your pen and pad and get ready to soak up these gems.
All right, so in this class, I want to talk about how to make money online as a producer. A lot of this information is stuff I've talked about before, but even if you watched all the classes, all my videos, I feel like it's just good refreshers. So we do a little overview. So first, I'm just gonna go over like the fundamentals of making money online, like not necessarily like strategies or like tactical stuff, but just like big picture stuff to think about. I'm gonna be going over how to make money with sound kits, then type beats and beat leasing, and then collab beat sales. Those are like the three main lanes that I've made my money with. So why should you try to build an online business in the first place? The first thing is, if you're working in the industry, you can have hundreds of unreleased songs. I mean, for the people who are just at the camp, you could work with all these huge people in the studio, get all these collabs, and then if nothing drops, you're not going to get a penny. You don't get shit. So, I mean, you get the experience and like, you know, it's fun working on that stuff. But at the end of the day, we got to make money. You know what I mean? So the thing that's nice about it is like, if you can build your own online business, you stop relying on other people using your stuff to be able to make income. Because, you know, if you're waiting for stuff to come out or people to help you like make connections or get signed by a label, like you're relying on other people's decisions to bring in your income. But also it like, even if you are getting income with your placements and waiting on advances and royalties and all that stuff to come in, like it just like helps supplement what's like whenever there's like a random 6-month stretch where you're not getting any placements, nothing's dropping, no royalties are coming in yet. Like you could just have something that like gets you through a little bit till the big checks come in, even if you have stuff going on the placement side of stuff. And then also it gives you freedom. Like I'm able to, you know, like I can pretty much do whatever I want whenever I want because I have like my own brand and I have like people following me and stuff. So if I decide I want to work on like a VST, I can do that and I can make money off that. I can travel and do camps like this. Like there's just so much more you can do than just like working in the studio on beats and like hoping that something crazy happens or working at like a job that you hate or any of that kind of stuff. And then also it feels amazing to be able to make money whenever I want. So I mean, obviously I can't just snap my fingers and guarantee that whatever I promote is gonna just kill it and make a ton of money. But like if I decide I want to like you know, money's been a little slower like for a few months and I want to like right now I need some money, like I could just like come up with something and post something the next day and like instantly like get some money if I do a sale or drop a new product or something cool like that. So being able to just like make money whenever I'm ready to, whenever I have the time to like make something to drop. I don't have to wait and like make something and then just sit there and wait and hope that something happens with it. You know what I mean? So anyways, the fundamentals. The first thing you want to do is pick your audience. So you don't want to try to capture everything at once. You don't want to be marketing to producers. You don't want to be marketing to artists at the same time as like you want to kind of have your core audience in mind. Like if you pay attention to everything I drop, I'm not trying to cater to artists at all. I'm not doing any content to try to like, you know, like, oh, like promoting my beats and stuff. Everything I'm doing is catered toward producers. So it's like there's very like clear vision of what I'm trying to do. So I'm not spreading myself thin trying to work on like, you know, another audience of people. I am going to try to start to do some more stuff with artists and stuff this year, but I've already kind of built it up a little bit, so I feel like I can build on top of it. But when you're starting out, you feel like you really need to focus in on one thing that you're trying to make happen. So another thing you need is a valuable product. So I mean, I talk a lot about like the big kit bundles that I do. It doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be like these, big production suites, but whatever you could think of, like something that is like very valuable to people. It doesn't something that it stands out from what everyone else is doing. Like if you're just dropping the same exact products that everyone else is dropping, you don't stand out. So you need something about your product needs to be more valuable than what other people are offering. And once you have that, you've got your audience, you've got a product that serves them very well, gives them a lot of value, and you combine that with a lot of eyeballs, you'll get a shit ton of money. So that is like the boiled down to like its simplest form. Good product plus eyeballs, you make money. If you're attacking the right eyeballs, the right audience. A lot easier said than done, but that's essentially all it is. Like I get views on my YouTube, I promote whatever's that I want to promote. I've sold t-shirts, sold these producer camps, sold about to sell plugins and VSTs once they're done being made. Haven't even started them yet. Like sound kits, I do like sponsorship deals. Like there's so much you could do once you have attention and you're actually giving people good products. Anyways, and then also like the online game favors consistency. You can't really take long breaks. I mean, right? Like I just got back from this producer camp and I gotta be on it today to be able to keep this business, the Sonics Academy, like going. I can't just be like, oh, I'm kind of tired. Like I'm gonna like not do these classes for a few weeks because then, you guys would be like, man, fuck this shit. This shit fell off. I'm not gonna pay this shit anymore. And then my income goes down on YouTube if I feel like, fuck, kind of tired from doing all this stuff. And if I don't want to make a video, I'll take like a few months breaks, like I'm inspired by other stuff. By the time I come back, I may have lost all this momentum I'm building up for like the past few years, and it'd take a long time to get that back. So you have to really be on it and like in a good routine and like keeping stuff consistently going whenever you're doing the online business game. Sound Kids Part 1. So first I just want to talk about my story, like my personal story of how I kind of got started making money with sound kits and like actually building it into like a sustainable business. And then after that, I'm going to talk about knowing what I know now, what I would do. So this part's not necessarily advice. I'm just telling like exactly what happened with me. So right now I make most of my income off of kits. So I would say like depending on the month, there's months where it's lower if I haven't dropped stuff in a while. There's months where it's way higher if it's like a big sale month like Black Friday or I'm dropping some crazy stuff. But I would say it averages out to about $30,000 to $40,000 a month on my kit income right now before expenses and all that stuff. But just for reference, like I most of my stuff is on kits. If someone put a gun to my head right now, I was like, you can only do one thing, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, I'd just sell kits. Forget placements, forget all this other shit. That would be my only goal. So the way I started selling kits was pretty much just on BeatStars. Like I was just, I feel like some of you guys have probably done this too. Like I'm just making, just putting like some loops together, 10, 15 loops, and just like throwing it on BeatStars, seeing what happens with it. Like I wasn't really treating it like a business. It was just like I saw my friends posting their kits and stuff, and like we would all buy each other's kits. So it was more like just like, oh, I'll post my kit and like make like maybe $100 or so just from like my friends like buying it and stuff like that, supporting each other. But it was nothing crazy. And then eventually it kind of I started making a lot of money with like beat collabs that I'm going to talk about later, like BeatStars sales and stuff like that. And I was very motivated. Like every month I was making more money than the last one. And I just I started, I don't want to say greedy, but I was just like motivated. I was like, man, how much fucking money can I make? Like I just want to like run this shit up. So I kind of thought of it like at the time I remember Wave Supply was big, like Internet Money, their kit store. And I was like, man, I want to just do something like that. I wasn't even trying to reinvent the wheel. I was just like, I just want to do my own version of what they're doing, like selling my kits, but then also like my friends that like make fire loops and shit too. Like I just post their kits 50/50 splits. So I kind of came up with this idea like, yo, I want to start like my own sound kit company, not just like putting it on a BeatStars page and like hoping something happens with it, but actually starting a company, like my own logo, my own website, running ads to it and all that stuff. So I started Loopstats, which is now I rebranded it to Sonics. Yeah, I started that, and I mean, I came with that came up with that idea, and in less than a week I had launched it. Like came up with the idea, I wanted to do it, spent like maybe a day or two uploading all the kits that I had made over the years, like maybe putting together a new one, making the logo, making the website, all this stuff. I did all that stuff in like a few days and then like launched it. Like I just started right away. So essentially my strategy, whenever I first started was just like I'm just gonna because I had some experience like running ads on my kits to BeatStars, but it never really clicked to me that like I would just run it for like maybe like a $50 budget or something, maybe make like I don't know, $75 or like $100 if it was a good one back on the kit. And then like once the ad budget ran out, I just like never promoted that kit again. Even if it was like, even if I had spent $100, made $300. I don't know why it didn't click. It seems really stupid saying it in hindsight, but it just didn't. I was just like, yeah, I don't want to like spend money every month on ads. But whenever I started this, I was just like, I'm just gonna boost the fuck out of my Instagram posts, running the Instagram ads. And my exact strategy was just like every single kit, I would do like the visualizer on my Instagram and run $5 a day on every single kit that I had dropped. And the first month, to be fair, I did have like a little bit of traction going with my BeatStars like selling kits already. Like I had people who liked my kits and were buying my loops semi consistently already at that point, just because they had seen my name so much on like all the big YouTube type beat channels. Like people just started buying my kits. Um, so I had a little bit of motion, but not at the level that it was whenever I started my own like website and all that. But I started making like the very first month, I might have already put pictures in here, but I might already say this a little bit ahead of where I had originally put it in the slideshow. But I think the first month I made like somewhere around in the neighborhood of like 1,000 to $2,000 or something. Maybe it was just 1,000, I forget, but somewhere in that neighborhood. And that's when like I started in halfway through February of 2021. So damn, almost 4 years, 4 years ago now. That's kind of crazy. But I started that and yeah, I made like 1,000 to maybe like 1,500, somewhere in that range in the first like 2 weeks of launching it. And that's when I was like, damn, like I might damn I might be able to, like actually make something legit out of this because it was just like it kind of like started working right away. The next month I continued the same strategy and I was like dropping one loop kit every single week. And I think, yeah, the second month, so March of 2021, I made $4,000. And that's when I was like, okay, like this went from like a nice little like fucking around, make a few thousand extra a month. Cause I mean, at the time I was making 30, 40K already. So it was like, an extra 2 or 3,000. It wasn't like that crazy, but 4,000 the second, like my second month ever starting, I was like, damn, like I might actually be able to make this into like a legit like something that's competing with the big income that I've already got going. But yeah, I started building my customer base through my paid ads. Like I at this point I hadn't even started my YouTube channel. So I didn't have 10,000 followers on Instagram. I didn't have like maybe a few thousand followers just over the years from working with people and stuff, but I wasn't at a crazy level yet, like just personal brand wise. So I was building my customer base strictly through paid ads. And luckily I was lucky enough to, have money coming in from BeatStars and stuff. So I had the money to invest in building something else on top of what I was already doing, which I know a lot of you guys, you can't just be spending thousands of dollars a month on ads like I was back then. But yeah, I was running the ads that was getting followers to my page. It was getting customers who were buying the kits and like getting people on my email list and just like kind of building it from the ground up, kind of like pay to win. Like I was paying money to Facebook. They were giving me the eyeballs, like I was talking about earlier. I was getting eyeballs on my stuff. I was selling good products, and I started to like stuff started to kind of work. And then from there, I just kind of like at least in my mind, like I was dropping good kits, and someone would buy one kit, they really liked it, and then they would just come back and like continue to buy more kits after that. So even if in theory I had to pay, let's say they bought a $40 kit, and let's say I had to pay $50 in ads to be able to get that one sale. You could look at that and be like, damn, I lost money. But then that one person, they really like that kit. Now they're buying my kits for a year straight, every kit that I drop. So actually, I made a fuck ton of money off of that $50 that I spent to get that one paying customer. And I'm doing that at like a way bigger scale than just like, $50. Like when I started, when I didn't have as much kits, I was probably spending like around like $1,000 a month, maybe like in the first like month or two, on ads. And then like flash forward like 6 months or so down the line, I was maybe making or like spending like anywhere from like $5,000 to $10,000 a month on ads. So like, I was doing it at a level where I was investing a lot of money into it, but I was getting it back. I wasn't losing money every month. I wasn't profiting a ton of money, but I was, I was building a brand. I was building a customer base that was buying that liked my products, that, I can email market to them in the future. I can drop new kits and they're already a fan of my stuff. I don't have to pay money and ads to get them to buy something. They just buy it off of the strength of like their past experiences working with. So anyways, yeah, I like my strategy really did not change at all. Like honestly, for like a year or maybe 2 years, like I it was just like straight like drop a kid every week, run an Instagram ad, drop a kid every week, run an Instagram ad, drop a kid every week, run an Instagram ad. I started doing influencer ads too for a little bit. But yeah, I was just like over and over, just doing that shit and just kind of like continuing. I kept making around the same amount of money. And then actually it was the third month that I was starting Loop Stash. I did an ad with Holy. I'm sure you guys know him, um, on YouTube, and I paid him 500 or 600 bucks to promote a kit, which is the most I'd ever paid someone to like. Actually, I think it was the first time I ever paid like an influencer to promote one of my kits, and I paid him 600 bucks or something like that, and he posted the video promoting one of my loop kits, and that day I made $1,500 in sales, and I was like, oh shit. At that point, even with all the crazy stuff that was going on with my BeatStars, I think that was the most I ever made in a day. At that point, I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing the Instagram ads and stuff. It's working, but that's fucking crazy. So I think at that point, like a light clicked in my head. I was like, damn, imagine a world where I didn't have to pay money to like I didn't have to pay $600 to do that. I could just do it myself and keep all that money that I did, like, yeah, get the promo for free. And that's when it kind of clicked to me. Like I feel like my YouTube and just like my content and stuff has grown into something much bigger than this, but it started off honestly as just like a way to make money. It was never like my goal, like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a content creator, I want to like do all that. I hate being on camera, but I was just like, shit, I can make bread doing this shit. I'm a fucking start a YouTube channel and grow it for a few years. And then hopefully I can get to, I mean, the point that I'm at now where I can like post a video, make thousands of dollars off of like a discount I promote a product on in that video. So yeah, that from there I started like growing my brand with online content and all that stuff to just make more money off the kids. Like pretty much that was like my goal. But and then yes, so from there it was just like just kept going, just kept like growing my YouTube, keep running ads. My strategy changed at some point with like I stopped doing like every single week a new kit to doing like these bigger kits and putting more of like a marketing plan and like strategy behind each drop rather than just like new kit, check it out, new kit, check it out. But yeah, I mean, essentially I just like I kept growing on it and like building a new thing here and there on top of what I was doing, building my YouTube channel, starting to experiment with other ads, different kind of products and all that, and just growing it over time. But that's pretty much how I got to where I am, like in a very quick explanation of how I got to where I am today.
If you guys are enjoying this class so far, I've got something even better for you. Like I said earlier in this video, this is just one of the Zoom calls that I do every single week inside of the Sonics Academy, which if you don't already know is an exclusive community of producers who are super serious about leveling up both business-wise and music-wise with their craft. Inside of here, you're gonna get access to every single one of these calls that I've done over the past like 8 months. You can be inside each Zoom call live, ask me questions. You get tons of my production-related courses on how to make vintage samples, melodies, and about once a month, I give you guys the opportunity to play your beats for big industry producers who are multi-platinum, Grammy winning, all that kind of stuff. So if you want this level of unfiltered advice every single week, unlimited feedback on your beats, and direct access to speak with me whenever you have questions about anything, click the first link in the description down below to join the Sonics Academy. And as a thank you for watching the channel, if you use the code GEMS, you can get 50% off your first month inside of Sonics Academy. And we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you don't lose anything. Anyways, let's get back into the money-making gems.
So now I want to talk about like what I would do if I was, now that I've done this shit, like if someone hacked me and all my shit got deleted, like how would I restart the shit from the ground up? So the first thing you would do is start a Shopify, or you can use PayHip or Gumroad, which are like, I haven't looked into the websites recently, but I feel like these are like free alternatives to Shopify, or somewhat cheap, affordable options compared to Shopify. But start on one of those apps, those websites where you can build your own website. I feel like having it separate from your BeatStars page, you can make sales on BeatStars. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you run an ad and get them to a link where they can buy something, you'll get sales from whatever website you're on. But I feel like on BeatStars, BeatStars is primarily like catering to artists, you know what I mean? You're also at the same time trying to build your BeatStars and your beats and stuff up, and you're promoting sound kits to your BeatStar. Like I feel like it's just kind of like overlapping like the groups of customers that you're trying to appeal to. But then also, I feel like I don't know if I put this on this slide, but I feel like there's even if it's not necessarily as important for the customer, like buying off of a BeatStars, like they're buying a loop kit. It doesn't matter to them if they bought it off BeatStars or like a Shopify website. I feel like in your head, it will feel more like it's not just like a little side hustle where you just like throw up a kit and see what happens. It's like there's like a little switch in your head of like, damn, like this is like I'm like starting something else, like I'm building like my own company. And I feel like with that maybe comes like a higher level of commitment to like, than you would if you just like post it on something, see what happens. Anyways, from there, I would upload your kits and just get started. Don't take months to fucking sit there and make it perfect and like, oh, what's my branding gonna be like? How I'm gonna do this? Like, I need to hire like this crazy guy for the logo and like do this mind-blowing web design and all this shit. And then you spend fucking 6 months worrying about how to do all this shit that doesn't even fucking matter instead of just like hit the ground running and then like fuck up a bunch, see what worked, see what didn't, and just like adjust as you're going. Like if you aren't at a place where you have a huge brand, like once you get to like a level where I'm at, like if I drop my first plugin, like my first VST or plugin, it's just a fucking piece of shit, like terrible. Since I already have like a brand that can hurt my brand. But when you have no brand to start with, if you drop some bullshit, nobody's even seeing it anyways, which sucks if you look at it one way, but also it's kind of a blessing if you look at it another way. It's like nobody gives a fuck if I fuck up because nobody cares about my shit anyway. So like don't get in your head and stop yourself from even starting in the first place because whether you like it or not, like nobody even cares about your shit yet anyways. So use it to your advantage to just like fuck up, learn what didn't work, make the next one better, and just keep doing that over time instead of trying to like perfect it before you even get started. Because you might be so in your head perfecting all this shit, branding, the like having the perfect product to launch with, all this stuff, and then you drop it and nobody cares. And like maybe you dedicated all this shit to like a product that nobody gives a fuck about, or like you spent all this time on the web page and all this shit. You got 5 visitors. You know what I mean? But yeah, so then I would also get started with organic content, so reels, your YouTube channel. This was originally scripted for the LA class. So I talked about like building your online brand, but you could watch the master class inside of the academy where I'm talking about like how to make producer content. It's a lot of the same kind of information. But yeah, like start building like your organic content once you start your website and all that. And then also get started with paid ads on your Facebook. So I really like the combination of like building your organic stuff so that the organic stuff is very long. It's a long-term move. It's going to be a complete waste of time for a few years, if I'm being real. You're not going to see, or at least that's the expectation you should be going in with. You're not going to see results. It's going to be very slow growth. It's not, even when you start to see a little bit of growth, it's really not going to bring you much money at first. But once you get through those years of eating shit, eventually it will be something that it's like, this is like your baby. This is your main thing that you got. Like, yeah, I'm still doing ads. I'm still making money from ads, but like I would get rid of ads in a second just to be able to continue doing my content, my brand, my videos and all this stuff. So the ads help bring in new people, remind people who do know about you about like new products and stuff like that. And it like they kind of work together. Like if people know your face from the content online, the organic stuff, and then they get an ad, they're more likely to trust you and then like, actually make that purchasing decision and buy your stuff. And then also when you're first starting, I would really, really go hard on promoting free kits as a way to, I was gonna say trick people into work, like using your stuff. It's not tricking. You're not like doing some scam shit, but just like, actually getting people in the door to experience your sound, your stuff. And then it's a lot easier to convince someone to download something for free from someone they don't know than it is to convince them to buy something from someone they don't know because they don't trust it. But once you try something, you like it, then you're going to trust that person enough to go back and buy something from them. So I would promote free kits and do it in a way where you get like you're collecting the emails whenever they download it because you can market to them in the future with your paid stuff. Once they're in your ecosystem, your customer base, you can make a lot of profits off of them like in the future. You know what I mean? Even if you initially put in that work on the kit and give it away for free and lose like your time investment up front. But I wouldn't fall in the trap of only have free stuff available and fall in the trap of never charging for it because then you risk becoming the guy who just makes free kits that nobody wants to pay for your shit because it's like, "Ah, I don't give a fuck. She's just gonna drop free shit." So I would have paid stuff available also because I'm sure there's gonna be people who download the free stuff, like it so much that without you even having to market it, they just come back and buy the paid stuff. Even if you're not really promoting the paid stuff at all, just having it there, having it available to be purchased, there's no harm in that. So yeah, I would go really heavy on free kits whenever you're just getting it off the ground, but then yeah, you know what I mean. And then just release your products consistently and keep running and scaling ad spend up, building your email list and all this kind of stuff. So like releasing products consistently, free stuff and paid stuff. You're doing your content to kind of eventually build a place where you can promote your own stuff. Don't have to pay someone to do it. Start maybe even hitting up influencers and stuff to promote your stuff. And then also just like Facebook ads, like running all that at the same time, funneling everyone into your email list, continuing to market to them on email lists and all that stuff. Fundamentally, if I break it down like super big picture, that's really all I'm doing. And just like doing that for years on end, it just keeps growing bit by bit and just keeps going up. And real quick, I want to talk about like my experience with like value-based product versus just like the standard kits that everyone drops. Whenever you're starting, you probably want to do it at a smaller level than I'm doing. You know, I have the kits with like 5,000 sounds in them and stuff like that. But you want to do it in a way where there's something about the kit that just like is not the same as what everyone's doing. And it doesn't have to necessarily be that it's like this new wave sound that like nobody has ever fucking heard of before or something like that. But just like instead of just like a loop kit, it could be like a loop kit with like 3 loop breakdown videos where you talk super in depth about how you do everything, and it comes with your go-to analog lab presets loaded into it. That's something I did like on one of my loop kits in the past. It was like it came with an exclusive tutorial on how I make R&B loops. It came with my go-to R&B analog lab presets and a folder of like exclusive perk loops that are only in that loop kit, as well as, you know, the standard loop kit that comes with it. Like stuff like that can just like, you know, maybe someone was interested in the loop kit and that's just like the extra thing that's just like, fuck it, like seems like this dude like put his time in. It's like I'm gonna get some more out of this than just loops. Like that might not necessarily be the reason that someone buys it, those like presets, those extra little things, but it might just be enough to like get them over the hump of like, okay, this isn't just like a normal loop kit. Like, fuck it, I'll do it. But yeah, selling these kits that have super high value per dollar has been way higher yielding than just like the standard kits that everyone drops, like 30 loops for $30. I'm still gonna drop some of those every now and then because honestly, those are easy. Those are easy. They do make money, but the big ass kits where I put a lot of time and effort into how can I make this like super valuable and all this stuff. Those ones have done way better than those. But in the start, you don't want to risk, you know, spending 3, 4, 6 months working on like this crazy valuable kit when you don't even have a customer base to start with to even sell it to. So I would build it up with more smaller scale kits until you get to a place where you can afford to put that risk in on like developing some really big products that will generate more money once you have a customer base. So now I'm going to talk about type beats and beat leasing. I haven't seen a ton of success with this myself personally because all I make is fucking loops. You know, I'm still grinding for that drum god in the server. I'm still trying for it. But I know a lot of people who are still killing it with BeatStars, like type beat leasing. It's a very popular narrative that, you know, shit's dead. I will say it is harder than it was like in 2020 and stuff when people had stimulus checks and the economy was a little better and all that stuff. But I mean, I've talked to people recently in recent months and they're still making ridiculous amount of money doing it. So, I mean, less than they were making maybe in 2020, but like still like, you know, for most people, not just most producers, most people still a ridiculous, like super high income off this stuff. I do think it's harder. I think you have to be a little bit more smart about it. If you're just doing the same shit everyone's doing, you're not going to stand out. But there's people that are still fucking killing this shit. So the obvious thing that you can do is post your YouTube type beats. Hope that your YouTube blows up. And I mean, that's the best case scenario, right? You post your beats on YouTube, you get 100,000 subscribers. You post, you don't have to do ads. You don't have to do any of these crazy strategies of marketing. You just post your beats. People like them, people buy them, and you make a bunch of money, right? But everyone does that shit, so it's kind of hard to make it doing that nowadays, just because there's the sheer volume of producers attacking that kind of that lane. So that's like the, you know, no real sauce in that. Post type beats and get sales. It's like I was gonna say it's old as time, but people have been doing that for a while. But I've been hearing from these big guys on BeatStars that 80% of their sales right now are coming from the BeatStars marketplace. So they're not coming from their YouTube channels, which to me at least, that was kind of like, what the fuck? Like I would have thought maybe the other way around, like 80% from YouTube, maybe 20, 15% from like the BeatStars algorithm and all that stuff. But I'm talking to guys who like they don't even care to post on YouTube anymore. They're making the same amount of money they used to when their YouTube was popping. Their YouTube gets shit views, but their BeatStars is doing great. So this is still a theory of mine, and I'm gonna test it out this year. I mean, I'll get back to you guys on if it's successful or not once I've actually given it a good try. But I'm going to try to be working on growing my BeatStars account, not necessarily a type beat channel, but my actual BeatStars marketplace account to get sales through there. Because I mean, I feel like I've talked to the people who like run BeatStars and stuff, and just like the amount of sales that they make on the marketplace nowadays with like the amount of traffic they get on beatstars.com is ridiculous. And just people are just there buying it. So you know what I mean? I'm gonna try to work more in the BeatStars ecosystem of stuff to get stuff popping. But honestly, if I was doing beats, I would steal a lot of the strategy from selling kits and just reapply it to beats. So the same like as I was saying in the beginning, like kind of like choosing your audience, right? So if you're selling beats, you're selling to artists. If you're selling kits, you're selling to producers. So let's say like you don't make loops, you don't know how to make drum sounds, you don't want to learn how to do that shit. It's just not you. Like that's just not your shit. You could just do the exact same strategy, just change out the product. Yeah, I would steal a lot of the strategies that I was talking about, like starting your own, like I don't even know if you need your own website, but like doing valuable products, like instead of dropping your one beat on BeatStars every day for $30 at least. Like people fucking clown this shit all the time, but they're fucking raking in money. I've talked to them, like the guys who do like 50 beats for $50. So it's like $1 per beat. Like get 1,000 people to buy that shit. That's $50,000. Like, yeah, you sold your beats for $1 a piece, but you're making more than the people who are like trying to like, nah, like I value my craft. I'm only selling my shit for $100, like for the least, like like no free beats, blah, blah, blah. Like that kind of mindset. That kind of mindset works well in the industry side of things, like not lowballing yourself for advances and all this stuff. But when you're trying, e-commerce is a whole different business and like strategy. Like you got to be like trying to please the customer. Like I'm never thinking about like what another big producer, like whatever, these guys are gonna like clown me for like selling shit at like a big discount. Like I don't give a fuck. I make a fuck ton of money. Set like even like the small kit that I did, like the $7 mini stash kits. I looked the other day, I made like $25,000 off a $7 kit in like a year. $7 kit, right? I put like 400 sounds in it or something, and with a $15 gift card. So like they're getting so much value out of that kit. The kit took me like 2 weeks to make, right? How many of you guys have fucking 10,000 beats sitting on your computer? You could just today put it in a folder, 50 beats, $50, and then if you already have a little bit of a customer base of people who buy your stuff, promote it on your stories, DM people from the past that have bought your beats. That kind of offers way more valuable, way more attractive to a customer than just like, yo, new beat, bro. You know what I mean? To you, like that's the beauty of doing like an online e-commerce thing with digital products, is like, yes, you're lowballing yourself $1 per beat. You're just selling files. It's not like you're selling a shirt and losing money when someone buys it. It's free. Like for you, like it's the exact, like the only thing you're potentially missing out on is like future sales from that person. If they are like, oh, I'm good on beats for a year, I bought this shit for $50, I'm not going to buy your beats for a year because I'm going to go through all these beats. That's like the only thing you could potentially miss out on. But you probably wouldn't have got their money in the first place if you didn't do something like that. So yeah, like put together a folder of 50 beats and try it out. Like why not? So but yeah, like I would take like once you have a valuable product like that, maybe you got like also on there, you got a friend who's like works with an independent artist who's like doing well on streaming and stuff, and you have him on for an interview where he talks about like what they do to grow their Spotify as an artist and stuff. Like you get, like I'm picturing like a ideal product, right? Obviously it's easier said than done, but like think from the artist perspective. You buy this big bundle of beats for $50. You're already saving a fuck ton of money on beats. So like assuming you like this guy's beats, let's say even you use 5 of them. Like you use 5 of these beats for $50. That's still a fucking great deal compared to what you normally would pay per beat if you just bought them individually. Then on top of it, you get a course on how to grow your Spotify thing. You get mixer presets inside of there, like how to Travis Scott mixing preset. Like let's say you inside of your beat pack, you got like Glorilla, Sexy Red, club type beats, Travis Scott type beats, future type beats, R&B beats, whatever. You put together a vocal pack or like a vocal preset pack in there. with like for all the different DAWs with like, all stock plugins and like how they could mix their vocals to sound good on your beats so that like essentially doing like a production suite like I do, but just do it for artists. Like just put tools in there for artists and then run ads to it, build your email list, put out free beat packs, do all the same exact shit that I'm doing. You could make a YouTube channel like as a producer. I haven't seen someone do this, but like as a producer that you're making content for artists. You know what I mean? How to like mix your vocals, record your vocals, how to blow up on Spotify. Like you could literally like take the exact template of my YouTube channel and just fucking do it for artists instead of producers. Those video essay tutorial videos that I do where I'm talking about the genius production behind blah 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 blah. You could do the exact same video, but instead of talking about the production, talk about their rapping, talk about the engineering of it, the mixing of their vocals, like the melodies that they're hitting, and like make these video essays catering to artists. And then in those videos, instead of promoting your sound kit, be like, oh, if you really like the Weeknd's like music or whatever, you want some beats like this, I've got a pack of 50 beats for fucking $20 that comes with a course on how to make yourself sound like the Weeknd. I got a singing teacher. You guys know what I'm trying to say. You got them on to talk about like how to do this. Like you can get super creative and with all the stuff of like how to add value, like really just put yourself in the position of the artist. Like what is like the craziest shit you could do in your product to make it just like a no-brainer? Like, bro, like it's just like, bro, take my fucking money. Like I need this shit. Put all that shit in a product, run your ads to it, have your free beat packs that you're getting people in the door with, like still trying to do the type beat stuff on the side, but like I would probably treat type beats and like the BeatStar side of things less as like my main hustle. Like that's the only thing that I'm focused on, like growing my BeatStars account. I would treat that more as like I'm making the beats anyways. Like it takes 5 minutes, just post this shit, you know what I mean? But that I would be thinking of it as just like, yeah, I'll just do that, and then if in 3 years it fucking blows up, it blows up, and then that could be my main thing then. But like for now, I'm trying to get it off the ground. I got to come with like some more creative. I got to come with some more valuable stuff for artists. But like, I mean, I really hope that someone does this, whether it's one of you guys, you take my exact formula, but just cater it to beats, do the exact same shit. But instead of making your content for producers, make it to artists. There's no competition. Nobody's fucking doing that shit. So I mean, that's just a theory. Obviously, I've not done all this shit myself. But I'm like, in my head, it's fundamental business, right? Like you make valuable stuff, you get people to see your stuff, they're gonna buy it. Like if you get 1,000 people in your restaurant and the food smells fucking amazing and you see people eating it and it looks great, like people are gonna buy that shit, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what kind of food it is. If it's Mexican, it's whatever, it's this, it's that, it's that. Like you got different audiences you're catering to and all that stuff. But like if you make amazing shit, get people to see it, however you do that, and you consistently, you're building, retaining your customers because you're actually giving them good experiences, you're doing good work, good products and stuff year after year. If you continue, you're consistent, like I was talking about with the online stuff, like you're consistent, you're not taking a fucking 3-month break, fucking off, trying some other stuff, saying the shit's oversaturated, it doesn't work. You're just like, I'm gonna eat shit for a few years, it's probably not gonna work for a few years, I'm probably not gonna make much money, I might lose money investing in ads, but I'm willing to take that risk and bet on myself that in 10 years this shit's gonna fucking work out, right? Like I feel like a lot of you guys are so worried about this 3-month success, this 6-month success bullshit, that it's like you're not thinking far enough ahead. If I guarantee if you guys were like, I'm gonna be a full-time producer, I'm gonna sell beats for a living, I don't care if it takes 25 years, you're gonna fucking get there in 25 years if you are like actually putting in the work and fucking doing this shit, even if you're fucking terrible at making beats right now. I just don't believe that it's impossible for anyone to like do this shit. I wasn't even planning on talking about all this right now, but like I feel like people just quit too fucking early. Like you might try for 4 years and it doesn't fucking work, right? And you're just like, I gave it a go. It didn't work for me. I'm just gonna, go back, do my regular job and all this shit. But like I really truly believe, whether it's the strategies that I'm talking about, whether it's the like a completely different lane that like nobody's fucking doing, you like come up with some other stuff. If you are willing to spend your whole fucking life to get that shit, I really think that you can get it. Like if you're improving consistently year over year, even if you move slow, like, it's easy to look at people like me. I'm young, I'm 22, I'm doing all this shit. I've been making fucking 30, 40K a month since I was 18. It's easy to hear that. I hope that people hear that and are like motivated, like, damn, what the fuck? Like the shit's like, motherfucker's on his shit, he's young as hell. But I also see the flip side, someone hearing that and being 35 and be like, bro, fuck, like I'm done. Like I should have started when I was 18. I'm cooked. Or like, hearing like our 16-year-old hearing that and being like, fuck, bro, he was only 2 years older than me when he's making this shit. I'm not gonna fucking be there. Who fucking cares? It doesn't matter what age you were when you start. It doesn't matter what age you are when you're getting this shit. We had 260 and Eyes to God. They were at the camp. 37, 38. They're still fucking, they paid the money. They came out to the camp. They met all these big people in person, trying to have a fucking 50-year-old placement pimp in the server. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, like, who gives a fuck when it happens? Like, Mike Dean is still fucking killing the shit. Yeah, he's been popping since he was young, but like there's no like age limit on this shit. There might be an age limit on, being cool and being able to like fucking like dripped out on Instagram and all this shit, but like business shit, like there's no too late or any of this shit. It's just like, are you being a bitch and quitting before it works? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying the shit isn't hard. I'm not saying that everything that I say is the exact answer to everything. But everyone that I started with, I say this all the time, but it's true. Like everyone that I started with when I was 14, talking shit in Discord servers when I was 14, 15, 16, just like making beats, like, buying each other's sound kits, supporting each other. Everyone who fucking stayed on this shit, improved year after year, whether they kind of changed lanes, like, they're not really doing YouTube stuff anymore. Like we were all doing type beats back in the day. They're not doing that. Maybe they're doing like placement stuff. Maybe they're doing sound kits. Maybe they're doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Everyone who's actually been doing this shit year after year, grinding this shit every fucking day, working 10, 12-hour days, not stopping, not taking a 3-month break because they're fucking, burnt out. Like, oh man, I haven't been getting 80 views on my YouTube type beats. Like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm gonna quit for a little bit. Like, rethink my strat. Like, everyone who just fucking kept going has fucking made it at some level. Like, everyone who I started with in that like group of friends when I was like that age, who has stayed on it has is making like over 6 figures a year full-time producing. Obviously some guys have made it way bigger than others, but like if your goal is just to make it full-time as a producer, you just wake up, you make music, maybe you might have to make content, work on business stuff, but like the only thing you're doing is your music and your shit. Like I really just at my core believe that if you just do this shit for long enough and you're actually putting in effort to improve on everything and work on stuff, I feel like there's no too late or like expiration. Like just expand the amount of time that you're willing to go with this shit not working before you get there. Like if you, Alex Hormozy talks about this a lot. He's like I think he was talking about a story where he signed with like a media agency who was like going to help him grow his social media, and they were asking him about like the time frame of like when he's trying to get to X number, like whatever the goal is, in the like followers or whatever it was, right? And he was like 10 years. And they were flabbergasted. It's like, this shit's crazy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because they're used to people saying, like, we need this shit by next quarter, next 6 months. They're like, I don't give a fuck. I just need like next 10 years. Like, I'll work on this shit for 10 years. And that mindset, I feel like, especially with like social media and seeing all these people post their placements and all the shit and like feeling like people have all the shit that you don't have or like you're doing something wrong. For some people, it might take 6 months to fucking blow up and be making 6 figures a year. It might get a hit, get signed, make $1 million. For some people, it might take 16 years. For some people, it might take 2 years. Some people might have it happen when they're 16. Some people might have it when they're 45, 50. Like who gives a fuck? As long as it happens, you know what I mean? That's all that really matters. The only reason you can guarantee that it won't happen is if you stop. You can never guarantee that will happen, but you just got to keep going. You know what I mean? But anyways, that was probably the longest bullet point I talked about from the slide. But yeah, so I mean, I pretty much kind of talked about this already. But yeah, I would do like value-based offers for beats, like the beat packs, running the paid ads to them, posting on BeatStars, all this kind of stuff. And then I've kind of talked about this, before with like the sound kits, but like making maximum profits and shit off your ads is not very, it's important, but it's not necessary to like, you don't need to have the mindset with ads that's like, if you broke even or lost some money, that you're like it's an L, that you should stop running ads. I feel like as producers, we're in such a business where like all the value that we are giving is coming from like our creation, which is like money wise, it's free for us to make, other than like, the gear we have to buy. That it's like it's kind of hard to picture like investing money and losing money to be able to build something, like build a business. Most businesses, like people who want to start a restaurant, people who want to whatever their business is, like they have to either save up money for a fuck ton of time to be able to like start that shit or take a loan out from the bank. And like most businesses lose money for like the first 2 or 3 years that they're in business, like losing money. They're paying money to work. Like they are not getting anything out of it. And obviously most businesses fail, but it's easy to think about it and be like, oh, like it's losing money, or like I shouldn't do this. Like I'm wasting my money on this shit. But it's like if you're actually gaining paying customers, even if it takes like, a few years of losing money on ads, before like you start to, your products get better, maybe you're getting more brand recognition or whatever it is to like be able to start profiting. In the beginning, you just want to do paid ads just to guarantee you're going to get eyeballs. That's the greatest thing about organic content is that it's free to make. Anyone can do it. You might blow up and just like, ton of profit. But with ads, you guarantee you have to pay for it, but you can guarantee that people will see it. You can't guarantee people buy it. Can't guarantee how well it'll do. You can guarantee that people are going to see this shit, and you cannot guarantee that with organic content. It's up to the algorithm. So I would like if I know a lot of you guys are not in a position where you can like it's not even like a mental thing like, oh, I don't want to spend money, but like you literally cannot spend money on ads. Start with organic content, but if you have the money, if you're willing to bet on yourself in the long-term game, like just start. It doesn't have to be like, all right, I'm spending fucking $3,000 a month on ads. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like start small and just like get the ball rolling, learn how ads work, get people into your business that, wouldn't have come in before because you're not getting traction with your content or whatever it is. But yeah, profit's not is not necessary. Like you don't want to be losing, like if you're running ads and making literally nothing, that's not good. But if you're losing a little bit, like enough that you can bear that loss, but you're getting paid customers, then in the future you email market to them, you drop other stuff, then you make profit off that second sale you get from them, not from that first one. So yeah, like people ask me all the time how I run ads and all this shit. And I feel like you're expecting some crazy ass answer, like your results, like, oh, like I put in $1, get like $10 back. Like I'm just fucking raking the shit in. But I'm like breaking even and like profiting a very little bit. Like I think my exact numbers, if I don't remember the exact numbers. I don't know why I said that. But like I would say if I spend $10,000, I'm making 12,000 back. So I make 2,000, but like, you see that $12,000 on Shopify. It's like, damn, this motherfucker's rich. He's making a shit ton of money off of that $10,000. But it's like, but then I really only make $2,000. Then I pay taxes on that. Then I pay my employees. So I'm not really making all this money on ads, but it's keeping people coming back to my business. It's bringing new people in the business. So whenever I do like these big, launches, these big campaigns, then all of a sudden I've been building all this shit for years, all these people who are paying to buy my stuff. And then I drop something, promote it on organic content, my email list, and I make a fuck ton of profit, make like 10K in a day. You know what I mean? And then like my biggest sound kit ever, I made, forget the exact number, but like over $150,000. And then if I count the upsell that I put on that product as like in there, probably like $165,000 off of sound kit. So that is where I make my profit. It's not from the like, the Facebook ads and stuff that you see. And I feel like, I mean, there are people who, you get lucky and you figure something like you get the right ad, the right product, and it just like, yeah, 5 times return on investment, 10 times return on investment, some crazy shit like that. But at least like most of the people I talk to who are in this kind of niche, this kind of world, it's more just like you're paying to build your brand essentially. But yeah, if you're losing money a little bit to kind of help cope with the loss in your head, think about it like I'm paying money to build a company. Like that makes sense. I'm investing money in my company. If you're just breaking even, that's even better. You're building a company for free. Yes, you have to front the money and it comes back a little bit later, right? So it feels like you're like losing money to pay that ad and hoping that it comes back later. But if you're like kind of breaking even, you're gaining paying customers for free. And then if you're profiting, you're getting paid to build your brand, obviously that's the goal. But even if you're losing money like a little bit, it's not the end of the world. And then I've kind of talked about this, but yeah, definitely make sure that you guys are doing email marketing and stuff to retain customers and maximize your profits. But also, if you guys want to learn more about email marketing, I have a masterclass in the academy where I did the basics of email marketing, but I think most of you guys are at the point where you don't need all this advanced marketing shit yet. You're probably not email marketing as it is, most of you guys, just because I've talked to you guys and all this shit. So that class should probably talk about a lot of the main stuff that you guys need to be going over. But in the future, if you guys, to get, I guess, a little bit more big picture, not just about this lesson, but like I really hope that like, everyone in here, well, selfishly, I hope everyone in here stays subscribed so I keep making money. But I hope everyone in here, keeps being subscribed and like growing, actually taking the shit that I'm like teaching you guys and applying it. And I hope like over time you guys get more advanced and you guys don't need this fucking basic ass fundamental shit and you need more like, niche down like shit that like literally nobody talks about. Like tactics and all this stuff once you've already have the ball rolling with all this stuff. And then once I get more people asking for more email marketing sauce, I will have like my marketing team come on and do a masterclass and all that stuff on the real like the shit that we're doing now. Because the email marketing masterclass that I was talking about, it's more like what I was doing when I was running the shit all by myself. But now I have a whole marketing team. It's like a whole company that like whenever you guys get an email from Sonics, it's like, yo, this is Kavi. Listen, no, 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 no. Fucking paragraphs of shit. I have not read that email. I didn't write that email. I don't do shit. I don't do any, I don't touch that shit at all. So it says it's from me, but I don't think sometimes I might tell them like an idea I have for an email, but I don't write that shit at all. They've got all the automations and all the shit set up on the back end that, bring in a bunch of profit and all this stuff. So yeah, I could do a class on that in the future, but definitely check out that other email marketing one. Oh shit. It's been a while since I scripted this shit out. Didn't even know I was going to talk about email marketing, but here we go. But yeah, this is essential to both like selling beats and kits because you guys are probably getting the vibe from that fucking huge ass rant I went on, but I feel like it's the exact same business. You're just selling to different avatars, different people. So I think I make anywhere from 40 to 50% of my income with kits on email marketing. So if I make 50K in a month, I made 25 of that from email marketing. Half the money I'm making with kits is from email marketing. It, I guarantee if you're doing email marketing the right way, it's the exact same shit selling beats. But and yeah, like the same principles apply to selling beats. You just got to change the product you're selling and change the words that you're saying. Essentially, you could use like I feel like artists and producers they're not the exact same person, you know what I mean? But they're essentially it's the same avatar of person. It's like someone who makes music in their bedroom. The exact same shit that I do to market to you guys to get you guys to buy my kits to all this shit. Just do the exact same thing, but just figure out a way to swap it and make it valuable for artists. And so yeah, I mean, go watch that masterclass. I'll talk about it a lot more in that, but just an example of like my old routine. Essentially, what I used to do is like I remember whenever I was doing beats, I didn't really do this much with loops, but I feel like something you guys could do. I feel like I did like the corny like on this day, this I had like mindful Mondays, I had free loop Fridays, like stuff like just like rolls off the tongue, right? But so like on mindful Mondays or whatever, I wasn't trying to sell people on shit. It was just like I would go on and I'd be like, I'd find like a video with some sauce on like back then it was like that I did that when I was selling beats. So it'd be like how to get your songs playlisted. So I'd be like, oh, I watched this video on this, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it'd be super interesting for you guys to like might help you get more streams on your songs. Like just helping people, giving people value. For sound kits, like I could think about doing some shit where it's like I just got this brand new synth and I just like made a free one shot kit for you guys because these sounds are just so fucking crazy. I just want to show you like, just test it out. Like the shit sounds so fire, whatever. Um, like stuff like that where it's like, or like maybe you found out a new trick of like how to flip something as an audio file in your DAW, or like how to use chat GPT to come up with lyrics if you're like an art like like there's a video where someone's like showing like how they like what prompts they give it to help them write lyrics so it's like easier to make songs like shit like this like you got to be creative, right? If you're lazy as fuck and you're just trying to like send out an email, buy my beats, bro, buy my kits, you know it, it's not going to work as well. So one email like that a week where you're just giving value. Then I do one email a week. I used to do it on Wednesdays where I was like, that's when I would drop my new kit when I was on that one kit a week kind of grind. So I'd be like, yo, new kit. Thank you for being on the email list. Here's a discount code. Thanks 25 or whatever, 25% off the kit, 50%, whatever it was. Right. So it's like new kit and you get a discount code. So you are getting value. I'm selling you on something, but like since you're opening the emails, I'm giving you a discount. You're getting something out of me more than just like me asking you for money. I'm like adding some incentive in there. And then on Fridays, I would send out the free loop Fridays. You could do free beat Fridays. I mean, I told Dilly got a bump in about the strategy that I was doing with loops back then, and he started doing with beats. And he's like, every time I sent out a free beat Friday email, I made like 600-700 bucks off that email every week. Obviously, he had like an active email list and stuff already, but like the just proof that like the exact same techniques that I'm doing will work for the same other shit. I just don't have the time personally to like build all that shit out for like a whole different group of people. I'm already fucking spread thin with all the shit I got going. So and yeah, so that was just like 3 times a week. That was like my send out kind of schedule that I would do. And I had about like, I don't know, anywhere from the range of like 5 to 8,000 people on my email list after running ads and shit for a while to my SoundKit company, getting free downloads, all this shit. And I was making like 3 or 4K a month off of email alone, not including ad stuff, not including people just organically buying my kits. They like follow me and stuff. So yeah, 3 or 4K a month with people like clicking the emails and buying the kits from emails when I had like 5 to 8,000, which I know a lot of you guys like that's still a very high number, but I promise you, if you're grinding the shit, get like 100 emails a month, like you're gonna get there sooner than you realize because eventually stuff's gonna start picking up a little bit. Maybe you start getting 500 emails a month. If you focus on building your email list and then you continue to market to them and keep like a good relationship with your email list, you could probably make a full-time income without posting anything online and just marketing to your email list, hypothetically. Obviously, continuing to post online so they see your face and remember you more than just like an email helps the emails perform better and all this stuff. But yeah. All right. So now we got the third strategy. This is definitely going to be a long class, but yeah, I want to talk about collab beat sales. So first I'll talk about my story with it because yeah, just like how I got started and all this shit, and then I'll give you guys what I would do today. So for the same reason that it's the easiest to get started with, it's also hard because a lot of people try to do it. But anyways, this is where I've got my first bit of success. So what happened was like in high school, I started to how did I grow my email list through running ads? You know, I heard people talking about like, oh, you got to build your email list and all this. So I had like an email capture on my page set up, but I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, I'll just do this shit too. Fuck it. But I feel like looking back, it was just running ads for years and like just getting paying customers. They put their email in to get the kit download and like get added to the email list brick by brick, like over time, just like it just kind of grew into something. Now I've got like 50,000 like active emails on my email list, even more contacts, but actual people like that continue to open my emails. Anyways, back to collab beat sales. This is where I found my first bit of success as like making money online. I had some friends kind of honestly from that group of people that I started with when I was like 14 or 15. I feel like around like 2018, 2019, they started to blow up on type beats a little, like some of them. And I was just like, back then it was not as big of a thing to send loops out to people. Like it wasn't as big of a thing to like, loop maker. It was like, now you hit people up on their DM. It's like, yo, where can I send loops? In the past, it was like, yo, can we collab? Like, it was a little bit different. So it was more just like, whenever I had an idea, honestly, it was like more organic. Like whenever I had an idea that I thought would fit for that producer, I would just like hit them up to collab on it. You know what I mean? But I had a few beats that I did with these guys that fucking blew up like millions of views on YouTube and shit started making like a few $1,000s a month when I was in high school. And it was like more of like a one-off thing. Like it was like I got a few lucky breaks with like a few beats that like blew up that were making all the money. It wasn't like I had hundreds of beats that added up to a few $1,000s a month. It was like I had like one or two beats that was doing all the heavy lifting. So, naturally at some point the beats stopped blowing up. The sales kind of died out a little bit. It didn't really click to me to like hustle that shit. It was, I was more just enjoying the success. Like I was like, damn, my first month I made $1,000 a month off of producing. That was like a big goal of mine for a really long time. It was, I was more just like, damn, this is like crazy. I was still trying to build my own type beat channel at the time. So it didn't really like register to me like, damn, I could just dedicate myself to working with these people who already have big type beat channels and like get a fuck ton of sales with them. But then it kind of like it died out, and then at some point it kind of clicked. Like I was like, damn, like if I could, this was like after it had died out, and I kind of had that high of like making a few $1,000s a month. And then it just like went down to like making like $500 a month. And it was like, fuck, like I need to figure out something. Like I want to make money again, felt like I fell off. It just kind of clicked to me. I was like, damn, like if I could do what I did during those years and get more big beats, I could start making money again. And I kind of like got the strategy in my head. I was like, damn, like could get like one collab a day or something like with these big people. That would be fucking crazy. I mean, at first it just started with like, I just wanted to like get some collabs like consistently like here and there. But then as I started to that started to kind of work. I started sending people my melodies more. Then it kind of clicked. I was like, damn, like my goal was like one a day. That was like the level I was trying to hit. But yeah, I started finding like more of those big type beat producers to work with, not just like one or two guys that I was friends with that I just like send one idea here and there to. Started like doing the research on all that stuff, and I switched to this was actually a big thing for me. I used to send out like the Dropbox link every week, like here's my loops that I made this week. And I switched to sending out one. I honestly, I don't know what made me do this, to be real, but for some reason, whatever the fuck it was, I switched from sending out like that Dropbox link every week to sending one MP3 file every single day. So I sent the loop that I made that day every single day. And it was almost like I just flipped a switch on. It was like people started using my shit instantly. Like it was like, it wasn't necessarily that my stuff was bad whenever I was sending my Dropbox weeklies. It's just like, if you think about it logically, if you only see someone in your inbox once a week, you might be out that day. You might be having a bad day that day. You're not trying to like read your emails and shit. You might be just like sleep in that day, don't see their email, and then your email's flooded by the time that email comes in. And you may have not even just seen it. Or like if you have to click that link to go to Dropbox and like download 30 loops and listen to them to find the one you want, like it's just like it seems like more work. So from the person that you're sending to side of things, it's just like less convenient. Flip it. You start sending every single day, just like one idea. People see me in their fucking emails every single day now. So it's like every day I'm on the top of their mind. It's like they see my shit every day, which, some people might get a little annoyed by, but like I'm there. Like they're going to remember my name, and it's just one thing to listen to at a time. You don't have to like click a link to go listen to it. It's just like right there in the email, they click it, and then if they like it, they use it. If they don't, all good, on to the next one. You know what I mean? So I started doing that, and like instantly people started using my shit more because it was kind of like discouraging. Like I was making all these loops, and like maybe like one would get used by one guy, like sending out to like I was time I was probably sending out to like 50 people or something, like maybe get one collab from this shit. But yeah, once I switched to that stuff, that's when I kind of made the goal of like that one collab a day with these big type beat producers. And for anyone who's like who is not very familiar with my content, who's watching this either now or like in the future, essentially just to break down the strategy, because you guys might be like, what the fuck is collab beat sales? Essentially, I would find big type beat producers, big beat stars producers, hit them up to collab or send them my loops, and then if they use my loops, they post it and we split the profit, the sales 50-50. So that was the other thing. It's like if I send you a pack of 30 loops right now, you might pick the one that you like the best and use it and not use the other 29. But if I send you one idea a day for 30 days of those 30 loops, you're more likely to like, not have like the ear fatigue of listening to 20 samples. You might, instead of using one out of that pack and deleting that pack and forgetting about it, you might use five. You might use five. So I just 5 times the amount of collabs I get by just changing the way that I sent out. You know what I mean? Yeah, like even if someone was seeing my emails, clicking the link, downloading it, there's no like I feel like it's very rare nowadays that like you would, unless it's like for a specific opportunity, like if you grabbed like someone's Dropbox of loops, like you're not gonna just like sit there and cook up every fucking loop in the thing, right? You go through, pick like maybe the first favorite two or three. But if they just texted you an idea every day, you might have flipped 10 of them instead of two or three of them. What time do you send it? It doesn't really matter. Like I send shit at like 6 in the morning, which is probably not good, but I don't give a fuck. I just send that shit. Like when I am personally like I have, I got shit to do, so it's just like I'm sending it when I'm able to. But yeah, I would say like middle of the day is probably best, like because then there's European people who if you send it late at night in the US, they're not gonna see it. If you send too early, the US people aren't awake yet, they're not gonna see it. So like middle of the day for like US time, probably decent, unless it's like if you're more sending to like a specific person who you know for a fact only works at night, yeah, you could be smart about it. Send it their shit at night. Schedule it. Like you could, you don't need to like remember to send it at that time. You could just schedule it in email to go out at a certain time. So if you, and that's what I do for some of them. Like if I have the time to send out loops at 5 in the morning, right? Nobody's gonna check that shit. So I'll just schedule it to go out at noon. But anyways, what happened is kind of similar to what I was talking about with the like, you just like keep stacking customers and stuff on your email list. Eventually it gets to a point where it's like, damn, I have a customer base. Like I don't need ads to make money. Kind of the same thing, same kind of concept happens. Like I got to a point I was doing one collab a day. So month one, it's like 30 collabs. That's cool. Month two, now I have 60 collabs because I doubled it. Then 90 collabs. And then all of a sudden, the ones from month one are making money on month one. Then you add on top of the ones from month two. Those are now both of those are making money on top of each other. Then month three comes, the top performing ones from month one are still making sales. So now it's just like this huge conglomerate of shit that just keeps like getting bigger and bigger as each month went by. And it went crazy. And like I started to see like at the time I was really happy with the success, but it was not like mind blowing numbers like 30K a month yet. But honestly, what happened is I met Dilly Got It Bumpin'. I went to his house and he showed me his like his screenshot or his phone of his BeatStars studio. I see $30,000 in sales in the last 30 days. This dude is not some like huge celebrity, like fucking driving a Lamborghini and whatever, all this shit. Like, something like that, I'd be expecting like some crazy shit. But like he's just like normal ass dude, chill, lives in a fucking normal house that I wouldn't think anything of. And like I seen that and I was like, bro, what? Like I didn't know anyone was making that kind of money selling their beats online. And seeing that and just actually being in person and being like, damn, like it's not like this guy's like some completely different kind of guy than me. Like it's like a normal ass dude making this kind of money. It just showed me that it was possible to make that kind of money. Like I feel like sometimes you get so stuck in your own head and just like your own routine, it can be hard to see that like there's shit going on with people that aren't that different than you. So honestly, that's like more so than like whenever I talk about how much money I make, I'm never trying to flex on you guys or shit like that. One, I feel like it's just information that is interesting, and I'm just the type of person I don't give a fuck if people pocket watch and shit. Like I'm fine being open about that shit. I don't understand what the big deal is about like being all secretive about finances and shit. But I mean, yeah, I'm never trying to like impress people or like brag about the shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I flex a little bit, like proud of like the numbers and the work and shit that I've been able to accomplish. But I really think like just hearing someone talk about it and seeing that like someone is doing it, like it just knowing that it's possible, um, like kind of lit a fire under me, and I hope that it does the same for you guys. Like whenever I talk about content like this, there's certain times in my career where just like something just like switches in my head, like something just clicks, and I'm like, fuck. Like I remember calling all my friends when I was driving home from his house that day, and I was like, bro, like this dude's making fucking 30K a month. Like what the like? And I remember just thinking like I need to get like that was my goal. 30K a month was like my number because that's what he was making. And I was like, bro, like I need to get there. Like that's fucking nuts. Like I want to do that shit. If he can do that, there's no way I can't do it. Not like shitting on him like, oh, this guy can fucking do it. I can do it. But like I was just like I don't like it's not that like I didn't think he was like way more fucking talented than me like, all this shit. I mean, he was a lot further ahead than me with like music and stuff at that point, but like I was just like, damn, like yeah, like that should show me that I could do this shit. So that kind of lit the fire under me to like go fucking hard with this shit and be like, damn, like I want to run this shit up like crazy. Like I said this in one of my older videos, but it was this weird thing. Like I almost like just decided like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make money now. Like I swear to God, like that was like my mindset. I was like, not like maybe this isn't the right word, not like I allowed myself to make money, but it felt like I had like this block in my head, like it was impossible to like do this shit. And then once I saw that, it was like it was gone. And I was like, okay, I'll do it now. And then I did it. Like less than a year later, I was making 40K a month. And obviously, right, like I was talking about earlier, I feel so blessed like with my whole journey and how this shit has worked out for me. But like that doesn't mean it's gonna happen for you like that. Like you just like, oh, Javi makes 30K a month. I'll do that too. And then a year later you're gonna start, right? But like everything just kind of aligned and like worked out like that. But for you, it might take 10 years. But like just knowing that there is people doing it. People fucking talk all the time on social media how it's not possible. The shit is oversaturated, burnt out, da 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 da. There is truth to all that. If people are saying that there is some truth to it, but just know that, most of the people who are actually like making the shit work are not talking about it. Which is why, I mean, I think that my brand personally like got so big fast was because I was fucking talking about that shit. You know what I mean? Like I didn't give a fuck. I'll talk about that. But most of the people who are like fucking stacking bread with this shit, they're not talking about how much money they're making. They're not talking about how they're doing this shit. But just know that there's people doing this like, and I have made more money every single year following since I started making a lot of money. And as people are bitching and fucking moaning about how terrible the economy and all this shit, like at the risk of sounding like an asshole, like you're not good enough. You're not doing a good enough job. Like I don't know. Like the people who are genuinely doing fucking amazing work, they keep making more money. You know what I mean? They keep growing their brand and going to different like new heights and shit. Yeah, there's obviously factors like the economy and stimulus checks were it's a crazy time. You could have made so much money if you were like had a big platform at that time. But yeah, I feel like it's just I don't know, just like hearing that it's possible, seeing stuff face to face, like talking to people, it just kind of like broke that limiting belief in my head that like this shit's like some impossible, like you have to be a fucking god to make this shit happen. You know what I mean? But yeah, so like I was saying, like whenever I started this strategy, I was making like I think I looked at like $300 a month, and in less than a year, from like starting like going really hard on this, like going from just trying to like get anybody to use my stuff to like just get some more collab sales because it had worked for me a few years before in high school to like, okay, I'm gonna get one a day. Then I remember my goal was five a day. Then it was like 10 a day. I mean, I was going fucking crazy to be fair. It wasn't like I just was like getting a few collabs here and there and making 30K a month. I would go on YouTube every day and it was like every big type beat producer was posting something with my loops every day. So I was running that shit. And I mean, that's why I was making so much money with it. But like it started 500-ish a month. Maybe the next month it grew just a little bit my income. Then the next month I made like over 1,000 again, which felt really good because it was like, damn, like okay, I'm actually, I'm starting to see over $1,000 a month again, like I used to in high school when I had those big beats. Then it was like 1,500, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. That shit started to fucking snowball. It started going crazy. Then it was 12,000, 16,000. I think the next one was like 24,000 or something. I was like, damn, bro, I'm about to be on Dilly's level with that 30K months. 30,000. Then around that time I started Loop Stash. That shit took off like the third month. I made $12,000 when I did that influencer ad. So I made like over $40,000 a month. And that was all like in a year, maybe like at that point, like that $40,000 a month. That was like a year and a half span of like, I mean, I wasn't at zero. I was still making some money. I know a lot of you guys like literally are not making, like made $0 of music. It was not like at the complete zero, but like I was going from like that level to that level. Like that was just fucking crazy, crazy time. But I maybe I just got really lucky with the timing. I'm not sure, but like I swear, just like there was like a mindset shift where I was just like, this shit's possible. I'm just gonna do it. Like, but yeah. So yeah, how I would start today if I actually was like, you know, if I wanted to get back on this, to be fair, like I mean, I still send loops out to these people, but I'm not focused on the shit at all. It used to be my main hustle. I was obsessed with like talking to all these people, getting them to use my loops, seeing what the top selling beats were doing, emulating that with my, like, I don't do any of that shit anymore. But if I was back on it today, first thing that you would need to do the strategy is actually find the producers, right? If you have the strategy, but you have no one to hit up, you have no one to work with, then it won't work. So, um, yeah, what I would do is like, I mean, I've showed this shit 1,000 times, but fuck it, we're here. I'll do it again. Like, say you make Drake type beats. Drake type beat. Look it up on YouTube. You see all the people on the homepage. I would hit up every single person who's ranking for Drake type beat on the homepage of YouTube. Every single one of them, hit them up, try to work with them. You're not gonna get replies from like 90% of these people, but do all that. Then all of a sudden, you're like, okay, I kind of ran through that. Maybe there's only like 20 people who are really ranking for that. Uh, Go and look. Shit, like I make the same exact type of loop, so I don't have to like come up with a new type of loop. But like I wanna make that same kind of music. But who else fits on that? Meek Mill. Now I go look up every single person who's ranking for Meek Mill type beats. Hit all those people up. Oh, who else would you? Lil TJ could use the same type of shit. Every single Lil TJ type beat. Hitting up that person. Party Next Door would work on that. You do all this shit. That's the first way that I go about finding people. Um, and then honestly, like what I feel like what happened for me is like that's how you find like the biggest guys, right? But the biggest guys are kind of hard to work with because they have hundreds of people hitting up to fucking send them loops. So as I was like more like in the trenches of this loop game and like studying the people who are doing well on type beats and all this shit, it kind of like it got to a point where my whole algorithm, my whole feed on YouTube was type beats. And most of these guys I already knew of them or knew like, worked with them. But then randomly I'd see a name like I've never heard of these guys, right? Like I would, well, I mean, I'm on my homepage right now, but like it would come up on my YouTube suggested or like the homepage of my YouTube. And then every time I saw a new name with like somewhat decent views, hit them up every single time. So like I just did that over, and it's not like I sat down one day and made a list of 500 people and instantly started this shit. It was like five new people a week, but over the course of like a year of like adding new people all the time. And then the shit started going crazy. Eventually had hundreds of people. Um, so yeah, that's like the best way that you can find people. But you could also go on BeatStars because like I was saying, there's people who are just killing on BeatStars, not even fucking doing any of the YouTube shit. Go to tracks, go to the top charts, all these fucking people. I mean, and this is going back, but just as proof, the number one selling beat. And as someone who has had the number one selling beat on BeatStars, I can tell you that shit makes fucking money. Like if you are at the number one spot, you're making fucking bread. Trust me. 50 beats by the whatever, 50 beats for $50. It is the top selling thing on BeatStars. People are buying this shit. And yeah, you can laugh all you want at like the crazy like deals and all this shit. But this guy's fucking raking in the money doing this shit. There is another one. It's not at the top anymore. It was for a while the number one. Maybe it was a limited time offer. That's why it's not number one. But Producer X was doing this same thing. He did it a little bit more expensive. Oh, here it is. 95% off 25 top selling beats for $250 for the stem lease, right? $250 and it was the number one selling product on BeatStars. I was making like with 50% of the sales, I was making like 6, 7K a month on one beat when it was the top one. So the beat was selling like $14,000 a month combined with both of our splits and with like a $30 lease as like the most common thing people would buy, right? Yeah, a fucking $250 product at that, like fucking mind blowing. That shit blows my mind. Like he's got to be making so much fucking money with that shit. That's crazy. So but yeah, like that, just a testament to like that shit. People will laugh at you, people will clown you, but like people are fucking killing it doing that shit. You know what I mean? So I would definitely try to do that. Anyway, so once you like find all those people, I would start a note on your phone or a spreadsheet of all the people that you want to hit up. And then also make your Instagram look presentable. I'm not going to talk about this too much. I've been talking your guys' ear off. But look at there's a masterclass that I did on how to make your producer Instagram look good in the masterclass recording section of the WAP. Make sure you go watch that. If you got a fucking terrible looking Instagram or you just want to like make sure it's good for networking with people. So then once you got the people you want to hit up, you got an Instagram that looks good, you want to actually DM them. So what I would say personally, like I would DM people back then, and what I would do now is like, I mean, first off, don't just say yo. That's like the absolute worst thing you could do. I think the second worst thing you could do would be like, yo, I'm an up and coming producer from the UK. I'm 14 years old. I'm trying to do this. I work with this person, da, 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 da. I'm trying to like do this and da, da, da. Where can I send you? Nobody gives a fuck. If I'm being real, like nobody gives a shit about that. It's just you just come off as like some annoying, like super thirsty, like fanboy. I'm just saying it how it is, not to shit on anyone who's sent out those messages, but just like I'm just trying to help you guys. That's how you come off. So I do something like in between that, right? You don't want to be like, yo, bro, where I send loops. You want to have a little bit more to it. So what I would do is like, let's say they make soul sample type beats, right? I'm sure that some of the guys have gotten like copyright claims, copyright strikes or some shit from like the samples they've used, and it's annoying. So you could think about, okay, like with my first message, let's say you make like I do, like original soul samples, right? Be like, yo, I got crazy original soul samples, like that you won't get copyright strikes with. Where can I send them? That's like one, it shows like, okay, this dude knows what kind of stuff. He's not just like some thirsty ass dude like trying to fucking send me a loop so he can make money off of me. It's like this dude sees my brand, sees what I do. I use soul sample stuff, and like he's offering me kind of a solution. Like obviously, yeah, it's not like you're just giving him free shit, but like, you know, it's like a little bit more like, oh fuck it. I do like maybe he just got a copyright claim the day before. He's like, yeah, fuck samples. I need to use like loops and shit for my beats. And then more likely to hit you up. Or like another thing you would do is like say they have a top beat called push-ups or something. You could be like, yo, I just made like 10 loops like that push-ups beat or whatever that you have. Like, where can I send them? Something like that is like way more like, because they're, naturally, like if you have something blow up, it's like your biggest thing. You're kind of trying to chase that high again and like put out stuff like that because it's proven to work. So if you take the time to like, whether you already had them ready and you just think they fit that kind of style of like their top beat or top beats or whatever it is, send something like that, because then it's like, oh shit, like like I feel like if I don't know why I'm thinking of this now. I think it's just because I made something that was like that Lovin' on Me Jack Harlow kind of vibe the other day. But like if I had Jack Harlow's phone number, right, if I just text him new beat and it was like a Lovin' on Me like type of beat, that day he might not want to check it. But if I was like Lovin' on Me Part 2, right, there's a huge hit for him. Even if he doesn't want to use that beat, he probably see that message and it probably sticks out a little bit more to him. Like, let's see if it's actually Lovin' on Me Part 2, and then he listens to it. And then if it's actually good, yeah, you probably fucking use that shit. So same thing, like you give them, it doesn't have to be some crazy try hard shit, but just like a little bit of extra like intrigue, or like you could tell that the person DMing you put in some effort of like seeing how they can work well with you, not just like, yo, bro, working us in loops. So yeah, but it's like the same shortness as a where can I send loops kind of message, but it has like a little bit more like tell you're like genuine person, you know what I mean? Or like at least you're like doing something cool or whatever it is. But yeah, once you start getting people like DMing you back, I would make a separate list for like different vibes, different genres, different artists, right? So let's say like me personally, I make like three different kind of vibes pretty much, like R&B stuff, hard trap stuff, and soulful stuff. So I'd be fucking stupid to hit up someone who makes Travis Scott type beats and send him fucking Drake R&B like Pain, Rod Wave type samples. It'd be He's not going to use that shit. So I separated out like each individual. I mean, back then I did like each individual artist. Like if I had my right, like the same exact loop goes out to like all those people I was talking about earlier, Meek Mill, Drake, Lil TJ, whatever. I would have them on different lists. And then in the title, like the subject of the email, it would be like, even though it's the exact same loop that I could hear all three of those artists on, to the Meek Mill type beat producers, that's like their keyword. I'd send it be like crazy Meek Mill emotional vocal loop. Just copy that over to the Drake, crazy Drake, whatever. Copy that over, change out the name, Lil TJ. So then it seems like it's like tailored to them when they get, it's not just like new copy loops 11, 23, 25. Like nobody gives a fuck about that. It's like the title is like describing what kind of loop it is. Like maybe I got like whenever I do the soul ones, like I put like in parentheses at the end, like live gospel choir. So it's like, damn, this dude hired a fucking gospel choir for this shit. It might be fucking crazy. And click on it more than just like new loop. Like no one gives a fuck. You got to do something to make it just like at least grab their attention so that they click it in the first place. But yeah, I'd make it separate lists for all the vibes. You don't need to do every single artist, but you do like hard stuff and like emotional stuff. At least like those two different lists. So like you're you're not sending like sad ass shit to people who make fucking club bangers. Anyways, yeah, so I send daily using mail track campaigns. I think they rebranded to Mail Suite. Yeah, so essentially what it does is like you don't have to physically send out each email. You also don't do the BCC thing where you just put 500 people on one email, because then it doesn't show who you sent it to, but it shows that it's a BCC message. Like it looks different in email. So using mail track campaigns, it sends it out as like 100 individual emails, but you don't have to physically type out everyone's email every single time and click send on 100 different emails. You just have to do it once, and it like links with a spreadsheet and sends it out to everyone individually. So it comes off more organic whenever they get the loops. So, I mean, I talked about this a lot earlier, but it's just like staying consistent. Most people I know who talk about the strategy to, they fucking quit after 2 months, a month. Some people like a week, honestly. Most people probably like a few days. Most people probably like to get inspired after they hear some shit, DM people for a day. Nobody replies. They're like, man, fuck this shit. Nobody's responding to me. Fuck this shit. This shit doesn't work. And then they quit. It's like, no fucking wonder the shit didn't work for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even feel bad for people like that. It's like, you didn't even try. Like, same thing I was talking about earlier. Like, be willing to not get replies, to have to try out this shit for years before it actually starts being something like, like an actual income that you could depend on. And then send religiously like your fucking life depends on it. I'm still sending daily every single day. Was it like 4 or 5 years later? Every day I'm still sending shit out. Now I'm sending out to like more industry producers and stuff too, but I still like every fucking day the loops are getting sent out. And it's like, I mean, I've gotten a little bit more lenient with myself. Like if like I was at the LA camp, if I'm at something like that and I don't send, it's fine. But like when it was more like I was trying to build that habit, it was like my life depends on it. Like I have to have a loop to send out today. It was like it's not an option to not do it. And I feel like that mindset, it seems like extreme and like, bro, it's not that big of a deal if you miss a day. I feel you kind of need that in the beginning to just like build that muscle of like being consistent. You know what I mean? Build that habit. So anyways, a lot of fucking talking. If you guys have questions, throw them in the chat real quick, or you can raise your hand. You click the react button and then click the raise hand button, and then I'll let you on to talk to me. Any questions that you guys have about any of this shit? Would you ever run ads on a free kit? I get sometimes ads for free shit, and I'm way more likely to actually click on them rather than paid products. Yes. The only downside, and the reason I feel like I don't recommend it whenever I'm talking to like people who are more beginners and shit is because like you're not gonna make money off that shit right away. You're gonna make money a few years later off of actually, building your customer base. But, a lot of beginners don't have the money to waste right away. But if you have a good job, you got some money saved up and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna make this the year that I like, like with all this too, I didn't talk about this because I just mention all the time, but all this shit, I would not worry about anything I talked about in this call if you're fucking ass at making music or just not even ass, but just like you've only been doing this shit for 6 months, you've only been doing it for a year, and you're not ready yet. It's good to like be in these calls and study and like learn all this stuff, but don't stress about it and you got to start spending money on ads and shit right now when you're not even good enough for people to buy your stuff. Even if you had 1 million people visit your page, nobody wants it. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure your stuff is good before any of this stuff works. But if your stuff is good, you feel confident that people, if they get the chance to actually try it out and use it, they will want this shit. Then yeah, I feel like I mean I run ads on paid kits and shit too sometimes. So I feel like it's a great strategy. If you're willing to just fucking eat shit and lose money for a year, you could build a good like customer base just by doing that. Would it be better to have a beat store of your own or just sell on BeatStars as a beat maker? I feel like when you're more in the beginning stages, I feel like you can just use the BeatStars Pro page. It's fine. Like once you start getting a lot more advanced with like the business stuff and trying to do all these crazy automations and upsells and crazy stuff on your website, BeatStars is limited on like the web design side of things with those integrations. So you might want to change at some point and like have a BeatStars player inside of so like technically they're still buying it through BeatStars, but you have a website that has like more stuff going on. But like in the beginning, I don't think you need to stress too much about that for beats. I feel like artists are comfortable buying stuff on BeatStars. It's so like widely accepted. I feel like for kids, it's a little different. Anyways, in terms of selling beat packs, how would you do the licensing usually? Would you apply it same as loop makers when they do paid kits, or would it be different? I mean, me personally, with everything loop kits and beat kit, like if you're doing beat packs, I will never in my life do royalty free shit. I've seen the value of what like the publishing and stuff can bring. I wouldn't be caught dead doing fucking royalty free shit. But I mean, if you don't give a fuck about that stuff, you do have an edge over people who aren't doing royalty free, right? Because you're offering more value to the artist. But I've seen the flip side of it of like what those songs can generate money wise and the doors that it can open up and all this shit. So I'm not willing to do that. I would not recommend anyone to do that, but it is an advantage. It is easier to sell someone on something with the marketing angle that like, yo, if you buy the shit, do whatever the fuck you want with it. You don't got to pay me shit. You just pay me this one-time fee. I wouldn't really do that though, to be real. I feel like it's a short-term move. But as far as you were saying, like the licensing, I would just say like everyone gets like an unlimited lease when they buy the pack. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to give them a good. The only way it would cost you like a lot with the licensing is if you give royalty free or if you give them exclusives in the beat packs, because then it's like you can only sell it to one person. But if it's a lease, unlimited lease is $1 a beat. That's a fucking no-brainer deal. If the beats are good, it's a no-brainer deal. You know what I mean? I mean, you could have like an upsell. Maybe you have like two versions of the beat pack. It's like the Wave version, $50 for whatever. It's unlimited lease just for the Wave beat, the MP3 and the Wave, and then the track out one. But both of them are like unlimited. Like there's no cap on the streams, but it's just like if they want the track outs, they gotta pay $100 for the beat pack. If they want the MP3 and Wave, just $50. Do you suggest making one type of loop or sample, for example, soul samples, or be diverse and make all types of loops when doing BeatStars collabs? I feel like go with your gut. Like if you like making 3 different types of samples, don't just force yourself to only be allowed to make one. But at the same time, like if you really only like making one genre of music, don't force yourself to fucking learn how to make a little baby trap shit if you don't even like it just because you think it'll make you more money. Because I feel like long term it's not gonna really work for you. So I feel like it's more just like, yeah, whatever you want to do, and then just like, but obviously to an extent, don't fucking be making dubstep shit and soul samples and then fucking like completely going like all over the place. But as long as it's like, for me, like my samples are all like, whether they're emotional or soulful or like hard and dark or wavy or whatever, they're all in the world of like rap R&B world, right? It's not like I'm like making country loops and then EDM loops and like I'm not going all over the place like that. It's all in the same kind of world. So I feel like I have like somewhat of a cohesive like sound and brand with my stuff. But yeah, I don't think you need to stress over like choosing the right lane. But that being said, like if you're a lot better at one type of thing, it might be easier to just focus on that at first to get used to it and all that. How would you choose the style of beats to stick to them and get good at making them? I wouldn't pay attention too much to what is popular and try to chase what's popular. I mean, don't, if your goal is making money, don't just make completely weird, obscure shit that like nobody wants yet. You know what I mean? But just like the stuff that you naturally like to make the most, that's still like somewhat mainstream that like there's an audience of people who would want it. I feel like that's the kind of stuff that you should focus on. Just it's not like, oh, bro, make R&B. Like R&B is like the no-brainer. It's if you really fuck with trap shit, make trap shit and focus on that first, even if you like other stuff a lot. But yeah. Hey, bro, when it comes to selling beats, would you DM rappers individually or focus on high value packs and advertise the shit out of it? Me personally, just because I've actually seen, I've experienced doing, I mean, I have experience doing both, but I have experience being very successful with the advertising shit and all that. I think I would just do that. I feel like the DMing rappers is easier to get sales right off the ground. The problem is there's a difference in the kind of grind that it takes. If your goal is to make $1,000 a month, that's like the ceiling that you're like looking for. The kind of work that you're going to do is going to be a lot different than if your goal is to make $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month. Like you're going to be working on different stuff. You can't make $100,000 a month DMing rappers to buy beats. It's not gonna fucking happen. Probably can't even make $10,000 a month doing it, even if you have like a whole fucking team. Like it would be really hard to do that. So what could happen is if you get into that routine and it starts working a little bit, you might cap yourself out because you're so used to just working on the stuff that only makes you a little bit of money when you could just maybe takes a little longer to start making money, but like work on something that could scale into like way higher. So far, only DMing rappers worked for me. Yeah, I mean, and I don't think it's like a black and white thing where it's like if you start doing high value whatever packs, you can't DM rappers to try to make sales or the opposite, like the other way around, whatever it is. Like if you are focused on DMing rappers, you can't do high value stuff. I feel like you could do both, but like if I had to choose one to focus on, I would do like building my brand, putting out high value packs and all that shit and advertising the shit out of it. But I think you could do both. Like if you have rappers who bought beats from you in the past, be like, yo, bro, like I'm dropping this crazy beat pack. Like I know that you bought a few of my beats in the past. Like even give them a discount code. Like, you know, you're the homie, whatever, blah, blah. Here's 25% off. It's already like 50 beats for $1. So you're getting a beat for like 75 cents or some shit. Like then it's, you know, like say it not like, yo, bro, buy my, but just like, I mean, if it's someone who's like you talk to and you guys both know that they buy your beats and stuff, you just be like, yo, bro, like, yeah, I'm trying to like give you guys more value, putting $50 to this new beat pack, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like hit them up like a little bit more chill about it. But yeah, like you can do that and then also run ads on it and like posting your stories, your organic content about it and like DMing the people who you've talked to and all that. But yeah, like you just combine those and then like hopefully you get to a point you can stop the DMing. Like that's the goal. That what I was trying to say is like don't get stuck in the cycle of all you're doing is one-on-one sales because then that you're gonna cap yourself out. You can only DM so many rappers a day, right? And if you're selling products that were like $50,000, one-on-one sales is great. You know what I mean? Because you could close a few of those a year and make a bunch of money. But $30 sales, you got to close a bunch of those every fucking day to actually make money. So yeah, we got gangster beats here. What's your question, bro?
Think I might have asked you this shit before, man, but I think like you said, starting out, you made fucking a loop kit a week, man.
Mhm.
How often you think that I release like one shit a month, man? How often you think should I release like a kit, like fucking 30 loops? If I'm just doing like 30 loop kits.
Yeah, I think if I haven't done this myself, but I feel like I would do like maybe like two kits a month where you're doing like 30 loops in each one. And then maybe like in the in between weeks, or maybe I mean if you try that and it's way too much, like you just can't keep up with the output, you could slow it down a little bit, but like you could alternate like every maybe like two paid kits a month and then one free kit a month. And the free kit's like a little smaller, maybe 15 loops or something like that. And that one like trying to get people on your email list to promote the paid ones that coming out and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean like I could see it working like half and half. Like every other week you drop a paid one and then in those
Mm.
in between weeks you drop a free one. It's just like
Right.
you know what I mean? So you're
Yeah.
getting people in the door with the free shit, but you're also providing paid shit. So it's not like only only free stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Did you ever do that shit or do like the fucking free loop shit?
Oh yeah, I did that. I did that a little bit, like the free loop kit or whatever channels on YouTube. I didn't see a ton of stuff. I did see some in the beginning. I feel like one of my videos got like 10,000 views or something. But yeah, I think like when you're starting like really like from the ground, I don't think you could build that shit into some huge empire shit like a free loop kit.
Uh,
But like, I feel like when you're starting out, you're just trying to get like your first 1,000 people or something. You could definitely get to that level with that shit. Got a Simply back. I just asked you to unmute, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, what's good, bro?
So I was thinking, like, if you have a YouTube channel for like tutorials and stuff, like you teach like beat breakdowns and that kind of stuff, and then you also wanna like upload like loop kits or sound kits or whatever. Like, should you upload like the promos for that, like just the loops or the beats playing on the same channel, or like would you make a separate one?
So I think the only time that I would separate channels is if you're serving a different audience, right? Like if you were doing tutorials on how to drop or like how to make beats or whatever on your type beat channel, then it doesn't make sense. It's like you're trying to get artists to subscribe to your type beat channel. Why would you post content for producers on that channel? So as long as it's like content that's for producers, like loop kits and tutorials on the same channel, I feel like it can work. I don't think that the loop kit videos are ever gonna be like crazy, like a million views type of shit. Very like maybe like one out of like 10,000 videos that are uploaded in that kind of style. But what was I gonna say? Like as long as it's separate, like you're not promoting to artists and producers on the same channel and confusing the YouTube algorithm, then it's fine. Unless you're trying to do like some brand or channel that's just for musicians in general. Like it's not even just for producers or just for I don't know what that would look like exactly, but there's not like a black and white. It has to be like either for artists or for producers. You could make a whole YouTube brand and shit just about music in general, and it not even be for artists and producers, but just fans of music. So they might be artists and producers too, but you could figure out some kind of product or something, or maybe you just do brand deals to make money on that. But yeah, as long as you're serving the same like group of people, I think it's fine to combine them.
All right, thank you.
Can you apply the free loop strategy to free beats to collect emails? Yeah, I would do that shit for sure. Running ads and stuff on like 100 beats for free. If you got years worth of beats on a hard drive and you're like me, you just don't give a fuck. 1,000 beats for free. I guarantee you'll get fucking emails. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be something that you offer forever. It doesn't have to be like you might get to a point where your ball's rolling and like you're not trying to give away all those beats, you're trying to make some sales now. Just delete that offer. Nobody will even know that it existed other than those people that originally got it. But if you're just like, yeah, if you're just trying to get your foot in the door the first place, yeah, fuck it. 1,000 beats for free. You don't gotta pay me shit. Maybe it's not the unlimited lease. Maybe it's just like 1,000 beats for free with like the MP3 lease. And it's just like if you like them, you put like a text document. Like if you like these and you want the track outs or anything, DM me on Instagram, email me or whatever, or like here's the link to the beat store, whatever it is, right? Just like something like that. Here's the link to the beat store. And since you already bought or since you downloaded my kit, I appreciate you like checking out my stuff. Here's 50% off if you want to actually buy the track house, something like that. You can do that with the loop kits too. If you have a fucking hard drive full of loops you've never released, make some paid kits so you do have some a way to make money, but you could drop it and be like, yo, like 500 free loops and all that. And then Prosper's asking, he's just curious what the best thing I learned or took away from the camp was. Bro, honestly, I said this shit in the group chat the other day, but I feel like it's the most inspired that I felt recently about music and shit. It's not that I haven't been happy or anything like I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I mean, I'm making music full time. It's great. But I feel like for a while, it's just kind of felt like the same shit over and over and just like more like a responsibility to like run all this shit than like something I'm excited about. But I don't know what it is, but I feel like the same feeling I had when I talked to Dilly and he like showed me his sales and I like realized the shit was possible. It's not the exact same situation, but like I feel like that the camp just felt like that for me. It felt like right now it feels like I'm like turning the page, like about to enter like a new, I don't know exactly what it looks like yet, but I feel like I just like, I don't know, it just like added back like this like excitement to the shit. Like I want to try like more shit and like more like connecting with people and all that. Cause it's easy to just fucking be sitting here in the house, like working with nobody for fucking years on end. Like you know, just like being in the environment with a bunch of people who are on the same shit I'm on is super cool. So I feel like that, and then also realizing like, I mean, I've known this for a while, but like I'm seeing myself more and more as like and just like the stuff that fulfills me. Like, don't get me wrong, I love making money. I love fucking getting all these sales. I love fucking getting these placements and whatever, and like people like talking about how crazy my music is or whatever, right? But I feel like the most fulfilling shit that I've had, not just during the camp, but just like helping someone and then like seeing it like work for them, or like seeing them really appreciate like the help, or like the stuff that I'm teaching them or whatever it is. Like whenever I would like at the camp, whenever there's like a big producer, Drake producer, Gunna's, whatever it is, like, and then like throwing like my boy an alley oop and being like Dunk Rock came through. He produced "Fuck You Mean" by Gunna, and Pablo from the Discord, Pablo So Hard. He genuinely, not even just like trying to like help him out, but like he genuinely makes really good like Gunna like wavy type loops without him having to like, yo bro, like I got loops for Gunna, can we work, whatever. Like I was like, yo Dunk, you gotta meet this guy, he's got the fucking craziest loops for Gunna. Like I feel you guys would really work well together. And then we went to the studio that night, and like seeing them work in person, like, and like just like seeing the smile on his face, like him, like he wants to work with Gunna and how he's got like an opportunity to like actually do that shit. Like I just see myself in that role of like being like helping people like get to where they want to be. I feel like that's like the most just like fulfilling shit for me. So I think that was like the biggest takeaway. Got question man back again. Let me answer. I don't know who this is, just says Zoom user, but I asked you to unmute real quick.
So like as a businessman, do you study your competition, or you just like focus on your stuff and try to make it as the best as possible?
I don't obsess over my competition. I don't like watch exactly what they're doing and like overthinking like, oh my God, but they're doing this and I'm not doing that. Like, and I feel like a lot of it comes with like, you know, being more confident in what I'm doing, and like I know what I'm doing is working. I don't need some new formula to like make it. Like I'm already doing this shit. Part of it comes with just like I know what I'm doing already. But yeah, like whenever I see someone do something, like honestly, like Max Shooter, he did like his VST. I look at him as like a friend, but like we're selling to the same people, selling the same shit. You could look at him as competition too, I guess. But like I've seen him drop his plugin and it did really well for him. And like honestly, that inspired me. I was like, man, I've always wanted to make a plugin, but fuck it. Like, I've seen him do it. I've talked to him. I don't think he has like some crazy shit that I don't have. I could do this shit too. So, and it should work for me like it worked for him. So I think, but yeah, I feel like I look at it, I see what they're doing, and like when I talk to these people behind the scenes, and like if they have a strategy that I'm not doing that works well, I'll implement it. But I'm more on the focused on my own shit, focused on what worked for me and just like recreating that over and over. Not as much, you know, trying to focus on like watching what everyone else is doing and try to replicate what they're doing. I feel like more in the beginning, I was probably more on that side as I was learning how to do this shit. But now that I've learned how to do it and stuff is working for me, I'm more just trying to like do what I know works for me, not like what's working for someone else. So hopefully that answered your question. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned some shit. I'm about to go sleep for fucking 18 hours after this call, but yeah.
All right, if you made it this far and finished out the whole video, I appreciate you for investing your time, taking this seriously, and listening to me yab for 2 hours straight. I guarantee most people did not make it this far. And while it's definitely not a guarantee that you'll be successful if you watched one YouTube video, being willing to sit through 2 hours of unedited footage that's not meant to be super high action and entertaining is 100% a good sign that you're serious enough to make this work. If you want more advice like this, more calls on topics like this, and just help leveling up your music and your music business every single week, make sure to use that code GEMS to get 50% off your first month of Sonic's Academy, and click that first link in the description down below to grab that. But whether you join the Academy or not, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned a thing or two, or maybe 10, and I hope you have a good day. Peace.